consumed the cake had a large enough bowel movement the next morning that they reported them in the police incident reports. You didn't piss anyone off. They were actually quite grateful. So much of what occurred in Mr. Headley's murder seemed like happen chance. A small bit of unexpected misfortune, a coincidence. The fish in the buffet, the remote location, the missing EpiPen, the only vehicle on site not working. The only difficulty lay in determining what steps the murderer took and what he just took advantage of. Let's start with the location. They always say location, location, location. And the retreat was the perfect place for the location for the murder. You may wonder who selected that site? And my investigation...
You sound like the chick from The Incredibles, that one little girl.
Yeah, you see that?
It was intentional. And we intentionally got it.
Anyways, where was I? And my investigation deducted that Ethel, outside bean counter, was the one to make those arrangements.
Ah, she did murder my baby.
This duty isn't for the faint of heart. And all I can say is that
I will have you group of lame-brained idiots understand, yet again, that I am an intern. Interns do not make decisions. We go get coffee for free, and we have to pay for that coffee ourselves. It is the only job where you lose money by the hour. I did not decide the site. I merely passed the booking information from Winifred to Uncle Les.
Ethel is quite right, Kip. She does not deserve your suspicion. The final approval of the site was made by Headley.
He's right. I think the remote site would be a nice reward for the shareholders for sticking with us during the difficult year of reconstructing the business.
But nevertheless, the event was held at a site so remote that it is only accessible by chartered transit. And Ethel was involved.
Oh, dumb boy!
No.
Yes.
Come on, Heather.
Your voice is giving me a headache. How many times do I have to tell you I am an intern? I don't make decisions.
Neither my daughter or I had anything to do with Headley's tragic death, and I am greatly insulted that you should even consider making unfounded allegations against us.
As I like saying it, nevertheless, my investigation does indicate that both of you had an opportunity to create problems by arranging for the remote resort, the lack of readily available transit in case of emergency. You must agree, all options must be explored. And of course, both you and Ethel inherited the remaining shares of Headley's held company. A powerful motive for murder.
Exterminate!
How dare you!
Our son Moss catered the event, and his menu did not include fish.
Oh, good.
Moss knew that fish would kill Headley. Not even for a French cooking school, I believe that his own son killed him.
I am sorry to say, Mr. that uncovering the source of the fish, tainting the buffet is never going to be resolved. Too many people had opportunity to tamper with it.
They all killed my baby.
Don't sound annoyed now.
murder really isn't for the faint of heart.
Really? Even I thought that was about him.
Well, you look at that time.
Hey, hold on a sec. You can't make me leave now. I still have time.
Not very much. And remember, we leave whether they are done with your mortal mystery or not.
So we will never pinpoint how Mr. Headley's food was contaminated, and we cannot truly say the remote location caused his death either. Although it obviously contributed to the long delay in getting the emergency medical team on site. And that is why I turned my attention to what medical assistance Mr. Headley did receive. As we heard, his EpiPen taking part in an artistic display.
Freak.
Autistic? Autistic display.
Artistic. Which Papa Head was aware of. So, the question is, did Henna plant the fish and then ensure his EpiPen would not be around to save his life?
No, I didn't.
Oh, she murdered my baby.
Do you think we could trigger in for a feeding goat? They're cuter and lighter.
And how convenient it was for the murderer that the only vehicle on the resort was disabled. That vehicle could have easily saved Mr. Headley's life by driving out to meet the ambulance.
I need some
And then all the pieces fell together in my cranial. I suddenly realized that there was one. Shut up! I might be killing Phil.
You're starting to really sound like a Dalek.
Keep going.
Exterminate!
Element. Only one person at the retreat was advantage of remote. I skipped the line. Only one person at the retreat was involved in each of these events. One person knew they could take advantage of the remote retreat. The same person knew the menu would be a buffet, extremely easy to tamper with. They also knew Mr. Headley's EpiPen wouldn't be there to save him. They knew the travel arrangements eliminated any hope of alternative transport. And lastly, they were seen coming out of the garage after they disabled the only vehicle at the retreat, thereby sealing Headley's fate.
Les! He's the one who's involved in all of this. He did this to me. That rotten bugger. If I could just get my hands on his neck.
Temper, temper.
Les Bean Counter was the only person in the position to take advantage of the perfect storm of factors. Mortician Burns! Would you please call the police? Maybe excessive force. And have your assistants take Mr. Bean Counter to await their arrival. Les, do you have anything to say?
Anything to say to an ice cream scoop boy? Ha! Your conclusions may well be right, young man. My lawyer's gonna drive a car through some of your assumptions in court.
Oh, he murdered my baby.
He is your baby.
Well, that's that then. Time for us to go. Hard to say goodbye. You had a good, rich life at the encounter. Filled with much love. You should be proud.
So, does that mean that God really doesn't hate gays? And I'm not going to hell?
No hate, no hell. Not for gays, women, Jews, Muslims, or Wiccans either. God doesn't care about any of that. Mankind added that caca by yourselves. God isn't rules and complex. God is love, plain and simple. Come on, let's go. Let's get you started on that afterlife of yours.